Welcome to U.S. Defense Line Channel. Ukrainian troops launch HIMARS operations at critical points. Everything is being done in order not to allow even a single Russian soldier to pass on the territory of the country. As a result of the operations in the south, successive explosions were reported from critical Russian points. Russian troops are not given the right-of-way in Kherson. Russia's logistics flow to this key region is almost completely cut off. Soldiers at the front desperately seek help but have to face losses. It has been reported that the Ukrainian troops again fired missiles at the critical bridge in Kherson using HIMARS. At the same time, missile attacks were carried out on a Russian military shipyard in this region. Everything is being done to ensure that Russia's supply flow, both on land and at sea, is not ensured. Ukrainian rocket and artillery units performed 150 firing missions. Explosions echoed in the areas. With these shooting missions, 8 Russian soldiers, 9 armored vehicles, 1 Grad multi-barreled rocket launcher system, 2 tanks, and 4 ammunition depots were neutralized. These missile and artillery units have carried out thousands of shooting missions since the beginning of the war, bringing the loss of military resources and equipment of the Russian forces to serious levels. This can be considered as proof of the outstanding achievements of the Ukrainian troops. Ukraine's units, with their accurate moves, cause an increase in tension in Moscow. According to breaking news, Ukrainian armed forces have launched HIMARS operations in Kherson. With these operations, critical logistics points of the Russian troops were hit. Russian troops are not allowed to evacuate. Ukrainian forces, using HIMARS missile systems, carried out 6 consecutive attacks on the pier next to the critical Antonovsky Bridge, rendering it out of use. It is known that this bridge was used by Russian troops for logistics flow. However, as a result of the moves of the Ukrainian army towards this bridge, the bridge was rendered unusable. Russia, on the other hand, began to have difficulties in transferring its soldiers or supplying equipment and ammunition to the fronts. After this situation, he tried to build new crossings to ensure supply flow to the region. He still tries his luck, but every time the Ukrainian troops do not recognize the pass and destroy the passages that are tried to be created. On the one hand, Russia was trying to provide a supply flow to this region, which borders the sea, with ferries and ships over the sea when the bridges on land were out of use. But the Ukrainian troops did not give this opportunity. Using the American HIMARS missile systems, the Ukrainian troops hit the shipyard in Kherson used by the Russian units. As a result of these moves not being prevented, many critical Russian military points were seriously damaged. As it is known, the shipyard is the area where ships are built and repaired. Russia kept damaged vessels in this area for repair and maintenance. At the same time, it was carrying out the supply flow with the ships in this area. Aware of this, the Ukrainian troops took action. Logistics line of the Russian troops in the south is on the verge of extinction. Having problems with the supply flow on land, Russia has now started to have problems at sea. It seems quite logical for Ukraine to target logistics points in particular, because it seems that when the crossings in key areas are cut off, Russia's offensive power also drops significantly. It becomes impossible for the Russian soldiers, whose attack power has decreased, to achieve success on the front. As it is known, as a result of Russia's taking a hit on every logistics flow, the necessary equipment and ammunition cannot be provided to the soldiers. This situation causes the Russian soldiers fighting at the front to be cornered and forced more and more. Moreover, we have seen many times before that Russian soldiers, who were cornered and had no more moves to make, tried to escape or surrendered. These situations cause both the lack of military administration in Moscow and the motivation problems among the soldiers. On the other hand, it is seen that the role of countries in the war is quite important. United States made remarkable statements. Allegedly, Russia is secretly providing ammunition support by a country. Remarkable claims of support for Russia surprised European countries and aroused curiosity. A high-ranking official claimed that North Korea gave Russia covert ammunition support. It is known that since the beginning of the war, North Korea has denied its support for Russia. However, it is stated that North Korea provides a significant amount of artillery shells underhand for Russia. Moreover, it is claimed that this support is shown as being sent to North African and Middle Eastern countries, and that various ammunition is actually shipped to Russia by ships. In the course of the war, it is thought that these aids will not be as beneficial as Iranian support. However, some countries still want sanctions on North Korea and Iran to be increased in response to this situation. In addition, many countries state that aid to Ukraine will continue. Although Russia receives support from countries, this situation will not benefit much. As it is known, Russia, which previously bought unmanned aerial vehicles from Iran, could not gain an advantage in this regard. However, with these drones, attacks on infrastructures, in particular, made many countries, especially Ukraine, think about imposing sanctions against Iran. Iran, on the other hand, has repeatedly denied aid claims, fearing reactions. However, it is also known that parts of many Iranian-made Shahid 136 unmanned aerial vehicles are located on the territory of Ukraine. North Korea has likewise denied aid to Russia on several occasions. However, it was not considered possible that this country, which was thought to have a good agreement with Russia, would not provide assistance. However, the refusal of these countries to provide aid to Russia may be due to the fear of sanctions. As it is known, since the beginning of the war, Moscow has been experiencing great economic difficulties as it has been sanctioned by many countries. Seeing this, many countries became afraid of being close to Russia. On the Ukrainian side, the situation is the opposite. Even countries that do not normally provide support for Ukraine or have poor relations have provided assistance to Ukraine to gain favor with powerful countries or for other diplomatic purposes. But as it is known, all kinds of aid are of great importance for countries. Especially thanks to the various weapons and missile systems sent by the United States of America and NATO countries, it is seen that the Ukrainian troops can gain advantage on the front many times. The biggest example of this is the HIMARS missile attacks carried out by Ukrainian troops in the south in recent days. As is known, these HIMARS missile systems were sent by the United States. Moreover, on many fronts, it contributed to the emergence of results in favor of Ukraine. These highly mobile multiple rocket systems continue to be used successfully by Ukrainian troops on many fronts. With every success achieved, the critical importance of every help received is proven. In particular, the use of these systems in moves to critical logistics and ammunition points brings the importance of these systems to a more critical dimension. In the following processes, the importance of each move will become much more critical. This will make the step that countries take and which country they act together with even more important. If Ukraine can continue its successful operations in this way, the defeats of the Russian troops will increase even more. At the same time, with the right moves, Russia's losses begin to increase, and there is no step they can take. This causes the motivation of the soldiers and commanders at the front to decrease and the tension in Moscow to increase. Unless Russia can cope with such problems, the war may spread further into its own territory. Moreover, the fact that Moscow, which is seen to be quite inadequate in the field of defense, cannot find a solution to this issue may cause its own demise. Now there is no margin for error for both countries. If one side makes a mistake, the other side gains an advantage. In these days when the violence of the war is increasing, it is more critical to have an advantage. In the future, we will see more clearly in which direction the countries will move and how the war will take shape. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.